Hi guys, welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back again for another stream, and this is the FPL team selection video for Game Week 4. We're on Game Week 4 already now? Yeah. Game Week 4.
Yeah.
So a lot to discuss. We will quickly review our scores from Game Week 3 before we do move on to Game Week 4. So very quickly, we're going to talk about how we did in Game Week 3, go through our points, and just, like a little review. So yeah, we'll get onto that now. So let's quickly bring up our teams from Game Week 3 and how we did so far. As you guys do know, it wasn't a great game week. Let's be honest about that one. But yeah, let's bring it up. So as you guys can see on the screen, this is my team from Game Week 3. So I did get 43 points. Had a -4. So all in all, that is I only got 39 points, which was pretty low considering the average score for the week. So not very happy about that one, but it is what it is. My rank currently sits at 1.2 mil as well. So let's quickly go through the team. So I had Ramsdale got the 6-point clean sheet. Trent got the 6. No, sorry, that's just Trent was 0 points, I believe. Let me just double check that. Trent got 1 point, isn't it? No, 0 points.
0 points.
0 points from Trent. Cancelo got to 0 points as well. Walker with 1 point. James with 1 point. And Cucurella 1 point. So ignore that Trent 6-pointer there, guys. The back line pretty much wasn't great this week. As we know, big at the back this week did kind of fail, but I don't think it's a bad thing going forward. I still plan to keep the team. But yeah, that is that. And then let's move on to the midfield. Salah did save me with captain points. He did get a goal, which I was happy about. He did outscore Haaland and Jesus, so I was happy I went with Salah as my captain. He also got the 1 bonus point. So yeah, 16 points for Salah. And then Luis Diaz did blank, unfortunately. And then Martinelli also in my midfield did get an assist, I believe, against Bournemouth. Also got the clean sheet point, so 6 points for Martinelli, and we'll take that all day long. And then moving up top, I had Jesus and Haaland. And obviously, they weren't as good as Salah. So it's one of those situations where I feel like the captain pick was right, but Salah wasn't. He only got the 1 goal, so for all purposes, I think it was decent. Like Jesus got me the assist, which I was happy about. Haaland did also score. Haaland scored 1 goal, but he could have had a lot more. I feel like in that game, he could have had at least 1 more. So it is what it is, and very bad week for me. 39 points, obviously not great, and my rank is currently at 1.2 mil. But as I've mentioned many times, it is only it is only Game Week 3, and we shouldn't be too worried about our rank at this early stage. If you are still not happy with your current rank, because there's a lot more game weeks to come where we can build up and move up the ranks. But yeah, that is the team for Game Week 3, guys. 39 points, 1.2 million rank, and yeah, that is the current predicament I'm in. But Jordan, let's bring up your team for Game Week 3. Just quickly tell us how you did and your rank and everything, and just go through your overall game week.
Okay, so here's my team at the end of Game Week 3. I didn't do any better. I only got 44 points, and my rank is slightly higher with 984k. And yeah, we'll start off with the goalkeeper Mendy, who only got 2 points. Nothing good there. Chelsea losing 3-0. And then we move on to the 5 at the back, which didn't do well this game week, with only Zinchenko getting any returns from that with the clean sheet for Arsenal game, and the rest were just blanks. So I won't go too much into that. And then we move on to the midfield, where captaincy was the right choice this week with Salah with the 16 points, which kind of rescued, I think, most of us from complete and utter disaster of this game week. And yeah, with Luis Diaz with the 2 points and Martinelli with the 6 points, you got a return in that Arsenal game, which was nice. So the midfield did a little bit better than the defence this week. And then up front, we've got Jesus, who was the vice captain option, who got an assist and got the 4 points, but he did get the other card, so it would have been 5 without that. And then Haaland, who did score in the fixture against Newcastle and got 6 points, which was a nice return there. So it was good returns up front and in the midfield, but a bit disappointing in the defence with only Zinchenko returning. But overall, we can happy to say this Game Week 3 is over, and we look forward to Game Week 4.
Yeah, so it wasn't a great game week, if we are being honest. I think a lot of managers had a bad week. It was a low-scoring week in general. But yeah, that is the review for the Game Week 3 out the way. Let's move on to better things, hopefully, and let's talk about Game Week 4. And let's hope we all have a better week in Game Week 4, and hopefully we get a green arrow this time. So yeah, before we do move on to the Game Week 4 team selection, I'll quickly read out a few comments. We've got Jake AFC. He says, "Good afternoon, lads. How are you? We're doing well, mate.
Yeah,
hope you're well."
good.
Reticent Gaming's also joined. He says, "Looking forward to the stream. Appreciate it, mate." FPL Alex as well says, "Hello, lads. Hope you're well." And Fatality also says, "Hi, all. Big at the back in the mud. Game Week 3. Good week for me. Third on your league." Okay, yeah. Congrats for being third on the league. Yeah, big at the back hasn't really paid off, has it, so far in Game Week 3? But I think it's still, for me, the way to go. Anything you want to add, Jordan?
Yeah, I think it's just because, like I mentioned before, the away games that were in Game Week 3 and the way the teams are set up for us, pretty much all players were playing away, so it was going to be tough. It was going to be a tough game week for a lot of people. We just didn't think it would be this tough, though.
Yeah, and
We thought it
also,
would be a little bit better.
Man City didn't win, Chelsea didn't win, Liverpool didn't win. So 3 of the top teams didn't win in the same week. I think that's not going to be that common going forward. Well, you hope to think, like to think so. So I don't believe that it's going to be a regular occurrence. I think it was a bit of a weird game week for the big teams, as none of them won really.
Yeah, it was pretty much underdog teams dominating that game week.
Yeah, let's move on now. So that is the Game Week 3 stuff out the way. Let's move on to Game Week 4. And this is how I look for Game Week 4 currently. So I've got Ramsdale in goal, who's got Fulham at home, which looks like a great fixture. I've got Trent, who's got a home fixture as well against Bournemouth. Then I've got the double City backline, Cancelo and Walker, who have Palace at home. Then I've got Cucurella and Reece James, who also have Leicester at home. So I'm pretty happy with the way my back 5 looks at the moment. I think there are potential for clean sheets for even Liverpool, and they're struggling so far, but I think surely they should be able to get a clean sheet against Bournemouth. And I definitely wouldn't be selling Trent ahead of that game. Cancelo and Walker, I'm quite happy to go with the double up City. I'm not so sure on Cucurella and James, if I'm being honest, whether they'll keep a clean sheet against Leicester, but I bought Cucurella in last game week, and I just think there's no point removing him now. I've got to give him another week, so he's in my team for now. And then moving on to the midfield, I've got Salah, Luis Diaz, and Martinelli. Salah and Diaz have 2 good fixtures, as we know. Bournemouth at home is as good as it gets, you'd say, from an FPL point of view. Liverpool need to bounce back, and I truly believe they will. I think they will put a couple past Bournemouth at Anfield. Salah does have the captain's armband on him right now. I do think, for me, that's pretty much locked. I do plan on staying with Salah as my captain. I know Jesus looks good against Fulham as well, but I think Salah for me is still the standout captain pick for this week. And yeah, I'm happily gonna remain with the armband on him. Luis Diaz, hopefully he can get something against Bournemouth. I think it's another good fixture for Luis Diaz, and I'm interested to see what Liverpool do. Can they bounce back? Because Liverpool are in desperate need of the 3 points, and you're hoping Luis Diaz and Salah can come up with the goods for that one. And then finally, Martinelli has Fulham at home. Arsenal are on fire at the moment, as you know. Martinelli has returned in every game so far. He's had a couple of assists, a goal as well. He's looking very good, and I'm very happy to have him for this fixture against Fulham. And I think it could be another one where Martinelli does return. So I do like that as well. And then his teammate up front, I've got Jesus, who also has Fulham, another good fixture for him. He's playing very well. He is also a potential captain pick for this week. If you are feeling a bit braver, you want to be a bit different, I don't think it's a bad idea to go with Jesus. I think Fulham is a very good, very good fixture for him, and there's no reason why he can't outscore Salah. But for me personally, I'm going to stick to ban on Salah. And then to complete the team, I've gone with Haaland up top as well, who has Crystal Palace at home. Now, there were some comments regarding Pep Guardiola after in the midweek where he came out and said when Man City have a game every 3 days, that Haaland won't be playing every game because he's going to be rested. Now that is a slight worry concern for owners like me that have Haaland. Pep did say Julian Alvarez will come in when Man City have Champions League games and then midweek games as well. So there is that slight worry that Haaland could miss out on game week 5. But for this game week, I still expect Haaland to start. So I'm going to keep Haaland. But for game week 5, guys, just keep an eye out on it. Because the midweek games, Haaland is a potential threat, missing out because Pep has confirmed with us that Haaland is going to play every game because his minutes are going to be managed. So that is a slight worry with Haaland moving forward. But for now, I think he stays for game week 4. And Palace at home is still a good fixture for City. And they also need to bounce back after their draw against Newcastle on the weekend. So that is my team all in all. I'm playing the back 5. I haven't lost faith with the back 5, guys. I know we had a few comments saying the back 5's in the mud. I think it was a one-off. And, I'm hoping it's a one-off. And going forward, I still believe for the next few weeks, it still looks very good. So I'm happy with the way my structure is. And, yeah, I think it should be a much, much better game week compared to game week 3, as we saw, getting 39 points. So, yeah, very happy. And then also, I have one free transfer. As you guys can see, also in the bank, I do have 0.3 mil. Now, let's talk about transfer plans. I do plan on rolling my transfer. I just feel like there's not any obvious transfer I need to make in my team. I'm pretty happy with most of the players. Maybe double Chelsea defense isn't the best thing for me at the moment. I'm not so confident on that, but I don't think it's one of those where I want to take a transfer because, as I mentioned, in game week 5, it is the midweek fixtures, and I want to be flexible for game week 5. Sorry, so I'd like to have 2 free transfers heading into game week 5. So that is my my transfer plans basically. I want to roll and then have 2 free transfers heading into game week 5 to let me make any big changes, even in structure wise if I need to. So that is a plan, guys. So rolling the transfer. I've got 0.3 million in the bank as well if I want to do anything. But yeah, I think it's going to be another boring week for me where I just roll and hope these guys can deliver for me. So yeah, obviously on the bench, I've got Ward, Andreas, Williams, and Archer as well. And yeah, that is the team for game week 4. Let's now move on to your team, Jordan. And yeah, just talk us through your squad and then obviously your transfer plans as well. So there you go. That is your team on the screen at the moment.
Okay, so this week, here is my team. It's a bit slightly different. Obviously, there's not 5 at the back in this team as there were in the previous game week. So we'll start off with Mendy Engel. Now, there was some concerns and rumours that Mendy was going to be displaced for Kepa, the other Chelsea goalkeeper, but I very doubt that's an issue to worry about. If you're a Mendy owner, he will definitely start against Leicester home. There's no doubt in that. Just because he made that massive mistake and hasn't been on form recently and been a bit more poor than last season, I shouldn't have any worries about that. But on the other issue of Chelsea keeping a clean sheet against Leicester is a concerning one, especially with Koulibaly with the red card last game. There is a bit of worries now in defence whether Chelsea can hold on and have a sustainable defence, but I'm pretty sure they can sort themselves out the back and keep a clean sheet, hopefully, against Leicester home, who, as well, have been defensively poor, as we've seen. They've let in many goals there. I don't think they've kept a clean sheet yet in the match so far this season. So that does give Chelsea a bit of hope, especially if it's, as well, a home fixture for Chelsea. So the fans are behind them in that game. So we'll wait and see what happens. And then we move on to the defence, which has now originated back to a 4 at the back. And the reason for that is because Nico Williams has Tottenham home. Otherwise, I would be playing 5 at the back. So we'll start off with Trent, who has Bournemouth home. Now, this is a crazy thing because when I looked at the transfers earlier on, Trent was the second most transferred out player so far this game week. And I was like, That's crazy, especially with the fixture he has next, Bournemouth home. I know Liverpool have been not the greatest that we've seen, but I feel like this is like Man United's redemption fixture. I think this is Liverpool's one. The Anfield at home fixture for Bournemouth. We've seen that have been really poor. They've conceded a lot of goals, like 3-0 against Arsenal. They lost. So you can expect Liverpool to do a similar outcome in that game, and you expect them to keep a clean sheet, especially. And in return, also a bonus maybe from Trent, who may return with an assist or a goal, but you can guarantee as well he'll get bonus points nonetheless, especially if Liverpool are on their game in that match. So our next player in defence is Cancelo, who has Crystal Palace at home. Man City are, I'll say, a bit struggling with Crystal Palace. In the past, we've seen them have a tough game, but as it is a home fixture, I'm going to say that's a good fixture for Man City as a little step up from Crystal Palace, who, in respect, have been playing really well this season, especially Zaha up front. But I do think the defence can hold for Man City in that game. They'll want to definitely keep the win, especially from their draw against Newcastle previously. I think Pep will have a hard talk with the team with that. So, yeah, I do expect Man City to win that and hopefully keep a clean sheet. And then we move on to my third defender, who is Zinchenko, who has Fulham home. This one could be a tricky fixture because we have seen Fulham fight back against teams, especially like Brentford, where it was a crazy end-to-end game. And especially with also when they were against Liverpool, Fulham, they drew against Liverpool. So I do feel Fulham are going to be a threatening team against Arsenal, even though it's a home fixture for them. So I'm not too sure whether they can keep a clean sheet or not, but they haven't lost a game yet, so that gives high hopes for Arsenal to hold up against Fulham. And if they do, then I'll be very happy, especially with what Zinchenko has returned from me in the previous game weeks. He's been really good. So there's always that attacking return from Zinchenko as well, because he does feed long balls to the forwards in Arsenal. So there's always a chance of that if Arsenal can't keep a clean sheet against Fulham. And then we move to our final defender, who is Reece James. So with Reece James, I did bring him in last game week, and he was a bit disappointing with only giving me 1 point in return from the transfer. So it wasn't a paid off transfer. It did backfire because I did have Trippier, who did get 6 points. But I am giving Reece James another chance against Leicester home, see what he can do, and hopefully he can get something from that game. If whether it's a clean sheet or a return, anything will do. As I'm not a big fan of Chelsea players, when I always bring them in, it always seems to backfire on me. But I'm willing to give Reece James another chance, and if he doesn't give me another a good return, then I might have to consider removing him. But for now, we'll see what he does against Leicester at home. So we move on to the midfield. I've gone with 4 in the midfield. So Salah is my captaincy option. This might be a pretty obvious captaincy pick because he has Bournemouth home, and he's probably the best fixture this in Game Week 4 to have a captaincy, especially with a premium. So yeah, I definitely sticking with that. I don't think there's much to say about that. We know how good Salah is, especially against Man United, where he wasn't really involved in the game. Really, it was hit and miss for the forwards like Luis Diaz and Salah. But despite that, Salah did get a return from that game and scored. So he's a player that can score no matter how the game is going. So yeah, he's my captaincy pick against Bournemouth home. And also with Luis Diaz, as we know, Nunes is still suspended, so that gives Luis Diaz a great opportunity to shine, especially against Bournemouth home. I do expect a return from Luis Diaz, and yeah, he's a favourite of mine. Obviously, I've had him since game week 1, and will still hold him for the foreseeable future. So I'm very excited to see what he does against Bournemouth at home. And then my next midfielder is Martinelli, who has Fulham at home. He's been a very good transfer in, even though I was late to bring him in. But yeah, he has returned very well with an assist, I think, last game. and I have high hopes for him against Fulham, doing well in that game as well. As we know, he's pretty much nailed in that position. I don't think there's any worries that he'll be rotated or whatnot the way he's playing. So yeah, it's another great fixture for Arsenal, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. And then my final midfielder is probably a controversial one to have in my team, because a lot of people did get rid of him, and Bailey is set to drop in price again tonight. But it is Leon Bailey, who has West Ham at home. Even though he did get an assist last game week, which I was a bit surprised he was dropping in price still. But I guess people were disappointed when he blanked the first game week and he sort of didn't play in the other game week where he played like 3 minutes. So I understand those frustrations, but I've kind of been forced to keep him in. I mean, he's sort of like a bench player for me, but for this game week, he is playing in my starting 11 for Nico Williams, because I do prefer Bailey over Nico Williams' fixture. So yeah, he's in my midfield, and we'll see what he could do against West Ham, who don't seem to be great this season because they haven't won a game so far. So there is that hope that Bailey might get something from that game. Who knows? But we'll wait and see. And then finally, we move on to the front two, and the first one is Jesus, who has Fulham at home. I'll say it's a very good fixture if you're captaining him, even though it might be a tough fixture, especially the way Fulham have been playing. But he's still worthy of a captaincy pick, as we've seen Jesus thrive in that forward position for Arsenal since he's joined. So yeah, he's expected to probably get a goal or an assist, something in that game. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what Jesus does in that game nonetheless. And then finally, my second forward is Haaland, who has Crystal Palace at home. And yeah, I'll say also he's another great captaincy pick, Haaland, especially with Crystal Palace at home. It'd be nice to see what he does at the Etihad Stadium. And I feel like he's going to be another strong captaincy pick as well. But for me, this week, it's going to have to be with Salah. I think he just tops it because of the Bournemouth home fixture, and because Liverpool haven't won a game yet, they're going to play more harder and challenge more. I know Man City will do the same, but I feel like Salah's got that upper edge on Haaland. So yeah, that is my starting 11. And obviously on my bench, I have the non-playing goalkeeper, and then I've got Andreas, who has Arsenal away, Nico Williams, who has Tottenham home, and Deversiglu, who has Everton home. And my team value is 100.2 mil, and I got 0.6 in the bank with one free transfer. And my transfer plans are, I am also rolling the transfer, so I want to go into game week 5 with 2. So I won't be making any changes. I know that seems a bit boring, but yeah, I'm just going to roll this transfer for this week because I don't think I need to change any players. The way my team is set up, they all pretty much have good fixtures at home. So yeah, I'm going to roll the transfer and see how the game week 4 goes.
Okay, so that is very interesting from you. Obviously, you do have also one free transfer. We both are planning on rolling pretty much. I've just quickly thought, is there any way you could bring in a Perisic, by the way, or someone like that, or another defender? Because you said you wanted to play a back five. Is there any way you can upgrade Nico, add the 0.6, and maybe bring in like a Trippier or a Dunk or someone like that? Or you not considered that, or you rather just play Bailey against West Ham?
Yeah, I think I'd rather play Bailey against West Ham, because you never know with how West Ham are going to be, because obviously Aston Villa haven't been the greatest, but it is our own fixture. The crowd will be behind them, and the way West Ham have been at the moment, they've been not that great, surprisingly.
Okay. Yeah, no, fair enough. I was just wondering, is there any transfers you could have made if you didn't want to play Bailey? But if you're happy to play him against West Ham, I don't think it could be the worst thing in the world, because West Ham also, as we mentioned, have struggled as well. But yeah, I'm going to read a few more comments out. We'll do a bit of Q&A to finish up, guys. And if you do have any questions, do drop them in below regarding your team for game week 4, and we'll quickly try our best to answer all of them. FPL Alex says, should I start Neto or Andreas? Currently starting Neto, but I feel Fulham will score against Arsenal and Andreas could get points. Neto. So who do Wolves have? I should have checked who Wolves have. Wolves play Newcastle. It's a tough one, isn't it? Newcastle
It is
or
tough.
Arsenal. So if you
Both.
what you reckon, Jordan? If you had to pick Neto
Uh,
v Neto v Newcastle or Andreas v Arsenal.
uh, maybe I'll probably pick Andreas. I know it sounds
Okay.
crazy because it is a tougher fixture, I think, because Andreas has Arsenal, but there is that because Andreas is one of the best players that they have at the moment. I mean, he probably get more involved if if they do get something. That's my reasoning for that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with Neto. I think Neto does have a home fixture where Arsenal are at home, so Andreas has a away fixture. So because Neto is at home, and I think Wolves did play really well against Spurs as well. I'm just gonna go Neto. So I'd play Neto. Um, Trippier or Emerson. Obviously, Tottenham have Nottingham Forest away, and then Trippier has Wolves. Longer term, probably Trippier still, just I think. But yeah, unless you disagree, Jordan, would you go Trippier?
No, I agree. I would. It's what hurts me because I had Trippier. I transferred him out for Reece James. So yeah, I would pick Trippier.
Okay. Yeah, we've got FPL Penguin. Shout out to him. He says, "Hi lads, bought in Trippier for James, banked 1.1 mil. Good luck this weekend. Remember game week 5 in midweek." Yeah, interesting transfer. So that's Jordan. You did the opposite, didn't you?
Yeah,
You took out Trippier to bring in Reece James last week.
yeah, and it didn't
But
pay
yeah,
off.
good luck to you as well, Penguin. Yeah, game week 5 is a midweek fixture, guys. So do remember there is a deadline on Wednesday. It's going to be Wednesday
Yeah,
deadline this next game week. So do bear that in mind. Reticent Gaming says, "Is Diaz the best 8 million player to bring in?" If you do have an 8 million spot that you're looking for in midfield, Reticent Gaming, I would probably go with Diaz out of the 8 million midfielder spot. Yes, I think he is. I prefer him over Mount. Prefer him over Saka even. Actually, maybe not. I think James Maddison is also a decent shout. I know Leicester, well, their defense isn't great, but Maddison does pop up with the goals and assists. So I think Maddison could be a good shout as well if you want to be different. So if you don't want to go Diaz, I think Maddison's a shout.
yeah.
You going to say something, Jordan?
I was just gonna say, I think I did hear about an injury issue with Madison this
Oh,
week. So I wasn't sure if he was going to be fit enough for the
oh,
weekend.
well,
So
I'm not aware. So if maybe you're right there, actually.
he's a doubt at the moment, but
Oh,
he has
is he
an
flagged?
injury. I think he is flagged, but I did hear the information from Twitter from a source that Madison is.
Oh, he's flagged.
Oh, he is flagged now. Okay, yeah, then
Muscle injury. I mean, he should be
yeah,
fine. But yeah, if you don't want to take a risk, Reticent, just get in Diaz, I guess. He's got Bournemouth. It looks like a good fixture as well. Saka to Diaz or roll this week with rotation and fixture condition coming up. I'd probably roll if I had Saka, if I'm being honest. I know he's been frustrating, but he's got Fulham at home and he's just one of those. Do you really want to use it to get Diaz in? I probably would hold personally. But I understand with the Saka owners and the frustration with that one.
yeah.
What would you reckon, Jordan?
I think he's just been unlucky. I feel kind of bad about Saka because he's just been unfortunate with not getting anything in games.
Mm,
He's just been left out or unfortunate.
yeah, it's one of those. I think his attacking numbers obviously have come down slightly, but I can't see him keeping this up when he's not scoring. I do believe he will break that duck soon and score, but it's just one of those. I guess we'll have to hope, and Saka owners, hopefully he does return for you guys. But Martinelli is doing the business at the moment. Fatali says Rodrigo game week 5, Brighton away, tough fixture. Yeah, it could be. Brighton got a good defense. Reticent Gaming, West Ham should be a green fixture now. Fatali also says agree, roll, probably most optimum play this week. Anything else I'm missing out? Elliot says I need Jack Perisic in for Diego Dalot. Now I can't afford Saka to Diaz. I wouldn't worry too much about removing Saka. Like I said, I'll probably keep Saka if I had him and just pray he gets a goal against Fulham. I like the Perisic. I like the Perisic move. So yeah, I don't think that's a bad. I don't think you've done too bad there. I mean, Saka to Diaz, it could go either way. Saka could definitely get a goal against Fulham. Kuwanda also says, is it wise to sell Neto and Haaland for Diaz and Tony? I'm not sure about that. Not for a -4. What do you reckon, Jordan?
I have seen similar transfers like this in teams, and I'm quite surprised at them. But no, I wouldn't personally sell Neto and Haaland for Diaz and Tony. I mean, I would for Diaz, but not for Tony for -4. Just
Yeah.
because Haaland, I would save that until game week 5, really, with that one, keep him for this game week.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of removing Haaland for a hit just before he plays Palace at home. So that's
Yeah.
just the only worry there. But yeah, guys, for everyone that has just joined the stream, please don't forget to drop a like on the video. It really helps the channel out. So do please drop a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We have a lot of content to come. So please subscribe and also like the video. We've got Roman Jarvis here. He says, "Hi lads, got a question about whether or not the City game yesterday against Barcelona has any relevance. Reason I ask, City had a pen with Haaland on the pitch and Mahrez took it. I don't know. It's hard to make what to make of it. I mean, at the moment, it wasn't a competitive game, so I'm still hoping that Haaland is still the penalty taker. I know that did happen yesterday, and I saw it. I saw a few FPL accounts mention it on Twitter, but I still wouldn't be too worried as of now. Unless you prefer Mahrez as an FPL asset, to bring him in. But I still believe Mahrez for me, slight avoid at the moment. I wouldn't be getting him in, but yeah, slight worry. But I don't think it's too. I don't think it's too big of a deal. It was just like a friendly.
Yeah, that was just a charity match, I believe,
Yeah.
that game. So you do expect Morris to play those type of games rather than Premier League, it seems like. But I
Mm,
wouldn't be worried about Morris being the penalty taker in the Premier League. I just feel like it was just because it was that friendly charity match that
mm.
Morris is normally the penalty taker for those. But I think Harden will still be the one for Premier League.
Well, yes, he is hoping in it as Haaland owners that he does carry on keeping the penalties. We've
Yeah.
also got Sugar Bender. He says, "Hey lads, thoughts on Robbo and Bailey to Saliba and Gundogan? Not a fan personally. I mean, I wouldn't remove Robertson. I know I removed Robertson 2 weeks ago now, but I still think Robertson could get a clean sheet against Bournemouth. Saliba, I like Saliba. Gundogan's an interesting one because he's been doing really well recently, popping up with goals. But there's always that worry because Bernardo Silva hasn't left. You know, Bernardo Silva is pretty much guaranteed to stay at Man City now. I think that makes Gundogan, not as good as an option because I assume as soon as the window gets shut, Bernardo will be, coming back into the team, and then that is a potential expected minutes risk for Gundogan. So I like Gundogan. I'm worried about his minutes going forward because Bernardo is staying. If Bernardo left, I think Gundogan becomes even better option. But because of that, I'm slightly worried about Gundogan. I like Saliba, but maybe not for a -4. I think Robertson could get a clean. I think Robertson can outscore Saliba this week, potentially. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Robertson has Bournemouth home, and then Bailey has West Ham home. I mean, with in comparison to Saliba, who has Fulham home, that's a bit of a risky one to get Saliba in for, and obviously Gundogan, rotation risk between Bernardo and whatnot. So yeah, I'd probably play safe and stick with Robert and Bailey, and not
Mm.
go to Saliba and Gundogan just because of how the game week 4 is, how the way it's approaching.
Yep. So there you go. Also got HA11. Says yo guys. Hamza also said I had a stinker last game week. I think we all did.
Yeah,
A
we
lot of
can all
us did.
relate to that.
But yeah, guys, please don't forget, as always, to drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed, and also please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've just hit over 400 subscribers, so I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone that has subscribed to us, and for everyone that have been supporting our videos as of late. So yeah, and Sugar Bender says, "Cheer lads, good luck this week." Yeah, good luck to everyone in the stream as well. We are going to probably wrap the video up here soon. And yeah, I think we'll be back again. When, Jordan? Are we back next?
I think we're back. Is
So
it
that's
when?
obviously deadline stream.
Yeah, it's deadline
Saturday.
stream Saturday,
Yeah,
which
Saturday, 10 a.m.
yeah, another early deadline stream. Hope you're up early for that because we will be on at 10 o'clock on Saturday.
Yep. So do guys please join us on Saturday. Saturday deadline stream, 10 a.m. if you're up early. Do subscribe and also ring the notification bell so you don't miss when we go live. And that is it, yeah, for us. Hamza also says thoughts on playing Gundogan. I think I answered this question just literally like before you came onto the stream. I think he's a good player, but I'm slightly worried about his minutes going forward, especially now Bernardo is staying at Man City. But yeah, is that everything, Jordan? Or you something to add?
Well, if you have Gundogan Hamza, then
Just keep him.
Yeah, just keep him. I mean, if he doesn't play, just have someone to back him up to come on for him if he doesn't play any minutes. But yeah, you might as well play him if you have Gundogan and see what he does against Palace, because he always has that potential to return, as we've seen. He's on good form.
Definitely. But yeah, that is it from us. Yeah, we should remove that out of the way. But yeah, guys, please do drop a like. We are going to wrap it up here. And yeah, we just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's joined the stream. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate your support. Do drop a comment as well, a like, and subscribe. And yeah, share the video also. We'll be back again on Saturday for the deadline stream. And yeah, I just want to say see you on Saturday, and we'll be back again. And I hope everyone has a good week. It's bank holiday weekend as well, so it should be a good one. And yeah, guys, take care, and we will see you guys very, very soon. Take care.
Take care, guys. See you Saturday morning.